Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to talk about Game 108 of the regular season. Astros lose 7-5 to the Los Angeles Dodgers in a bit of an odd game. Now, the elephant in the room is obviously the fact that Jake Odorizzi served meatballs with such efficiency that every Italian restaurant in the greater Houston area will be calling him tomorrow for tips. But if you put that aside, there's actually a lot to be positive about for the game for the Astros. There's a lot of good, to be honest, which you might think is kind of weird given that it was a bit of a depressing game. But scoring-wise, second batter of the game, Michael Brantley, professional hitter Michael Brantley. Home run, pimps one, we're set, we're going, we're rolling, baby. You go, all right, this is great, right? Because you roll into tonight, very different than last night. Last night, or I guess 2 nights ago, because now it's like 1 a.m. Thursday morning when I'm recording this. First game of the Dodgers series, the Astros had all the pressure on them because they are the team that has the cheating allegations against, not allegations anymore, what am I saying? The cheaters, essentially. I'm going off of narrative, not necessarily how I feel particularly, that roll into the game. All of Dodger Stadium hates them. They want to win really badly. All the pressure is on Houston. And they're going up against a pitcher in Walker Buehler who, depending on what happens with Jacob deGrom on if he returns really to this season, could potentially battle him for the Cy Young just solely based upon the innings pitched. Obviously, if you're going aside that, it's obviously Jacob deGrom. But regardless, you're going up against a great pitcher in Walker Buehler, and you get the win, right? You get the win. It's looking great. It's a shutout. Lance McCullers deals. And, Yordan Alvarez, who they traded you for nothing, gets, basically the finisher in the 8th inning. So tonight going into it, the Dodgers were the ones sort of on the back foot needing the win tonight, because if they lose, they get swept in a little 2-game mini-series against the Astros in Dodgerland. And beside that, you lose the season series 3-1 to the Astros, including losing the last 3 of the series consecutively. So, right, first inning, like I say, Brantley gets the home run, and then it comes time for the Dodgers. And, they said, hey, you want a response? Here's a response. Mookie Betts leads off the game with a home run. It's 1-1 like that. Then, after that, just a short few batters later, Will Smith homers. 3-run shot, it's 4-1 LA. And at that moment, you kind of just start to cry. And I out loud said to myself, boy, I get to stay up till like 4 in the morning being depressed about a game where we get absolutely curb stomped. Now, we did have the decency to end it relatively quickly. I'm being able to record this about 1, which is somewhat early, actually. And I actually don't even feel tired because, I had like 5 cups of coffee. It's fine. Coffee is, it's nature's caffeine. What did I just say? Anyway, continuing on. Next inning, Mookie Betts hits another home run. It's 5-1 LA. Then, in the 3rd inning, A.J. Pollock homers to make it a 7-1 ball game. The Dodgers are leading, and at that moment, you kind of just start to cry to yourself. Not for me, though. I mean, I had coffee, so, it's fine. I'm fine. No worries. This is not a call for help. Anyway, continuing on with the game. It was over at that point. I don't understand how Jake Odorizzi was not pulled before the 3rd inning. I would have pulled him after the 1st. That was a horrifically bad inning by Jake Odorizzi, and it only got worse for the night. Now, I have been incredibly patient with the pitching staff this year, right? I try to be very nice to pitchers, because I think they have sort of an underappreciated job. And I've been specifically nice to Jake Odorizzi. I've defended him at pretty much every turn. Oh my God, this was just awful. This was just bad, right? The first few games this season for Jake Odorizzi where he's been an absolute flameout, I was able to defend by saying, yeah, but this is his spring training. He hasn't had much to go off of. He just got on the staff. It's a new team. He dealt with stuff last year. I was able to defend it. Tonight, it was just bad, right? And the Astros, overall, they did more things right than the Dodgers. Their offense was there. Granted, the Dodgers were there more so, but the Astros had great offense. The bullpen was good. The bullpen was immaculate, actually. And the defense for the Astros, well, it wasn't great. It was fine, right? The Astros did a lot of things right tonight. Jake Odorizzi was just horrific. Now, yeah, the Astros had a couple of miscues defensively, and if Jake Odorizzi's line read something like 7 runs, but only 2 of them were earned, this is a whole different conversation, right? Last year in the playoffs, game 1 of the ALDS, or ALCS against the Rays, I believe McCullers went 8 innings and gave up 1 earned run, but like 4 runs total because 3 of them were unearned. And my big thing for that was like, yeah, but you can't really put this on Lance. All of them were unearned. And if that was tonight, this is a different conversation. However, when your home runs allowed outnumber your innings pitched, it's another conversation where you go, oh boy, yeah, this isn't the home run derby, Jake. After that, the Astros in the fourth would get a run back on a Kyle Tucker single, where Jordan would come around to score. That made it a 7-2 ball game. In the eighth, Correa, absolutely pimped one off of Joe Kelly, so that was entertaining to watch. And a lot of people might, let me phrase this, older heads of baseball might say things like, why are you celebrating that much? That made it a 7-3 ball game. Like, come on now, Correa. And I'm in the opinion of, like, just in general, let him have fun. I don't care. But also, B, he and Kelly, they're not fans of each other. And I know, everyone knows that Correa absolutely loved getting that home run. And to be honest, I thought it was fine to troll him a little bit. It was something. And in the ninth, the Astros tease us with a comeback because Diaz gets on immediately. And then after that, Tucker hits an absolute bomb. That made it a 7-5 game. And I start to sit there going, I've kind of seen this play out before against, a couple of teams, really. There's the Correa home run that kind of turned the tide, like the Rangers walk-off with Altuve's grand slam that reminded me of, and also the Yankees series, where the Yankees should have probably beaten us in that last game, but then the Astros said, heh, it's Jose Altuve. Now, in the ninth, after that, it was just sort of ineptitude. Robel Garcia, who I'm not trying to be mean, how is he still on our roster, would strike out. Jason Castro would strike out. Jason Castro has been on a bit of a downward spiral, which isn't great. And then Jake Myers, who for the second time in 3 Major League at-bats represented the final out of the ball game. For the love of God, can we please stop making him the final out? Now, one other bit of longevity was Lance McCullers made a pinch hit appearance at, I believe, the 5th inning, which is just kind of funny to see. And to Lance McCullers' credit, he was taking hacks. He's taken hacks in all of his at-bats to this point. He's not afraid to try and get a hit or try to just hit the cover off of it. And one day, in real time, I just had it hit me. They're probably getting rid of they're just expanding the DH to the National League this year. Do we play any more National League teams? I really hope we do. I want McCullers to get one more chance to just hit a rocket. Because if McCullers hits a home run, it doesn't matter if we lose the game like 15-1. I am going nuts in that video if I get to see Lance McCullers hit a home run. That would be the happiest moment of the channel, to be honest, regardless of what happens after this. We could win back-to-back World Series, and I'd be like, you guys remember the Lance McCullers home run? I remember it. Now, I said there was a lot of positive from the game. And there is. There's a lot of good that you can look at it. The offense was actually decent. 5 runs is fine. Tucker had a home run. He had 3 RBIs overall in the night, so he had a very nice evening. Brantley had a home run. Correa had the pimpin' home run off of Kelly, which is just one of those things that you absolutely love to see. And pitching-wise, after Jacob Odorizzi's dumpster fire was over, the bullpen was fantastic. And 3 of the 4 we used pitcher-wise, or 4 of the 5 innings that they pitched, were by guys that we grabbed at the deadline, a couple of which people were kind of thinking were just, meh additions. Yimi Garcia went an inning of work. He got a strikeout. He looked really good in his... Was this his Astros debut? I believe it was. Might not have been. Rafael Montero looked really good. 2 innings of work, gave up a pair of base runners, but it's fine. It's the Dodgers. That happens. He looked pretty darn good. Brooks Raley came in, which... the game was over, so why not? But he was pretty decent, gave up a hit, but got a strikeout. And Phil Maton came in and hit another person barely touching their pant leg, which is kind of irritating that keeps happening. But overall, he looked fine. He got out of the inning scoreless. The bullpen was really good tonight, which is great to see. There were good things to come out of it. But... man, Jacob Odorizzi to start this game was just... it was real bad. It was real bad for Jacob Odorizzi tonight. And I gotta say, I think you guys gotta move him back to the bullpen. I think he was good, right? He was fine. He was good when he was coming out of the bullpen for 1 or 2 innings. And I'd much rather go back to that and have Christian Javier be a starter again. That's what I would like to see happen. Is it going to, or do I know anything of the sort of if that is happening? No, not whatsoever. I'm some kid from Florida. I'm just spitting what comes to mind for me. And that would be bring Christian Javier back from the bullpen. Now, you have a series coming up against the Minnesota Twins. Here's the good news. Most of their pitchers are pretty rough. I believe 3 of the 4 that you're going to be facing have 4.5+ ERAs, so that's a positive. Tomorrow, specifically, you roll into a game against Griffin Jax, who rolls in with a 6.41 ERA. And we're going to send out Framber Valdez, who rolls in with a 3.01 ERA. So this should be a game, theoretically, that you can get a nice win. You're going to be back in front of the actual Astros fans, who aren't going to be screaming obscenities that would get every YouTuber demonetized. So, hopefully, you can rebound from this. It started out like it was going to be a just demoralizing loss, but towards the end it kind of was just a, it sucks kind of loss, so it wasn't as bad as it could have been. But hopefully you can rebound with a series against the Minnesota Twins, who are kind of struggling this year at a 45-63 record, where they are competing with teams such as the Rangers and the Orioles for bottom feeders, which is not where I think any of us pegged them to be. Boy, that wildcard series against the Astros did not do them well. Anyway, that game tomorrow starts at 8:10 Eastern Time, 7:10 Central, and I'll be here after that. That is all I have to say for the evening. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. And as always, go Astros.